Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today, and welcome to the Elder Scrolls 6 Wishlist series, a series designed to help dictate the future of the Elder Scrolls franchise. Every Thursday, or at least we try, at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we sit down and we take a look at the Elder Scrolls. What games should Bethesda take inspiration from? What should change? What should stay? What should they learn from in previous Bethesda Game Studios games? And so on. This week, we're going to be talking about the water in the Elder Scrolls games and how Bethesda Game Studios, quite honestly, has never been too good at exploring that realm of their games. The following comment comes from the Elemental Mage. I want the next Elder Scrolls to really utilize water. In Skyrim and Oblivion, nearly everything you could find in the water was slaughterfish. In the next Elder Scrolls, there should be ship battles, if possible, more sea creatures, and more things to explore underwater. There could be rumors circling about a sea monster that is lurking in the ocean, and when you find the sea monster, it's this giant cracking looking creature. Also, just curious if there will be a shit people say about Elder Scrolls 6 series. Love the vids, Matty. And in answer to your question, yes, there will be way down the line when we start hearing more about the game. Don't worry, I got you guys covered. Water. This is something I feel Bethesda Game Studios hasn't been good at exploring, and I think their most recent game, Fallout 4, shows exactly why, because Fallout 4's ocean did have a wealth of potential, and we learned that through a lot of the cut content as well as assets that were not implemented in the game. We found concept art of sea creatures. There was apparently supposed to be a sea creature battle in one of the quests. A lot of this was fan speculation, but it still showed that there was a lot of room in the ocean, and Bethesda didn't do much with it. The same could be also maybe said for some with Far Harbor. I really liked the Red Death quest line, but in the end it was a little underwhelming in the sense that you're imagining this big sea battle, and then all of a sudden it's this tiny little Mirelurk, and you're thinking, okay, come on. And I know it was a bit of a contrast to the constant killing you're doing in Fallout 4, but still, for me, I was imagining this epic battle, and I felt, in a sense, it could have been a missed opportunity for some gamers out there. Anyway, Elder Scrolls does have a bit of potential in the water environment. We talked about ship battles, and maybe it could be a little bit like Assassin's Creed 3 or 4. I know that was a bit gimmicky at first in 3, but in 4 it translated into an entire game, and a lot of people loved Assassin's Creed 4. Now, I'm not saying that you should sprinkle Assassin's Creed throughout Elder Scrolls, but I'm just saying that I think this would actually fit in the Elder Scrolls universe. There are missions few and far between that show the potential, such as one in Elder Scrolls Online, where if you're a part of the Aldmeri Dominion, you start battling a giant sea serpent, just like in the comment actually that Elemental Mage mentioned, where it's this epic clash, as well as sea vipers boarding your ship. It's really one of the most epic moments in the entire MMO, and it just shows the potential of sea battles in this game. And not only the game, but the franchise as a whole, where I could really get behind ship battles, but also we do have separate missions throughout Elder Scrolls Online, such as when you're just boarding other people's ships and it's that typical almost pirate-like battle. This also gives the opportunity for them to explore more of the lore. In the comment thread I was reading, they were talking about were crocodiles and were sharks, and at first when I read that I said I have to double check this because this almost sounds like a joke. No, ladies and gentlemen, it's not. You can actually find were crocodiles in the Black Marsh. Now, were sharks, based off my research, around the ocean in Tamriel is where they lay about, but that seems to be mainly a rumor still. In that case, it means that since it's not grounded in the universe, maybe Bethesda could find a way to implement them. The thing that I have the biggest issue with is you look at Morrowind, and oh my god, traveling the water for me was such a pain in the ass because those damn slaughterfish, how they just nibble at you. And once again, I've talked about Morrowind's combat to redundancy on how I hated in the beginning constantly whiffing, and a slaughterfish could just kick your ass right in the beginning of the game. It was a little bit ridiculous, but it's almost funny to look back on now. Still though, I like the idea of additional threats in the water, but ways to combat those threats, how, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, I'm sure we could take out a weapon like we did in Morrowind underwater and start swinging around. That would be cool. Maybe magic of some kind. I'm sure it's possible, and I know Bethesda could think of a way to do so, but the point being of what we're focusing on here is underwater exploration. A lot of environmental storytelling has been done in Bethesda Game Studios games, such as Skyrim, where you'd find, for example, someone with a cinder block chained to their ankle and it's a skeleton underwater, really painting a picture. And so you'd find these type of cool things in the water, but you never find something that Bethesda intentionally put there in the sense of a location to explore. We talked a little bit about the lore and how Bethesda could explore more, and also one thing that was mentioned inside this comment thread was the Sea Elves. This is another part of the Elder Scrolls franchise that seems mostly mythical, that not many people have heard of. You once again explore more of it in the Elder Scrolls Online because it's further back in the timeline compared to where we're at now with an Elder Scrolls 6. This is more lore we can explore. This is more opportunity me more potential to find places to really fit in that water exploration, as well as place a race behind it, or a race rather to encourage that type of exploration. This has been a fantastic suggestion, so thank you, Elemental Mage. Once again, yes, I will be doing a Shit People Says at some point down the line. It'll be a while now until we start hearing more officially about Elder Scrolls 6. But there was a lot of disagreement in last week's episode, and I love that because a lot of people were saying, no, this is why it can't be in the game. Some people were saying this is why it should be in the game, and some people were saying make it optional. So I really love seeing that conversation get out there because it's not just a one-sided talk like, oh, this is so right. I just love when the conversations go in all those different directions where everyone's just expressing their opinion. So keep doing that. Keep it up, people. I love this series so much. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Can't wait to see where the discussion goes next week. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. The links are, as always, in the description down below. Consider supporting my Patreon. It helps fuel all the content we create here. Other than that, stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.